Okay, that was the newly transposed version. Let's play the original for those who didn't see the first two videos. Okay, so today's video is about arranging in a non-idiomatic key. So the transposed one that I played at the beginning of the video is in D flat major. It uses 5 flats in the key signature. B, E, A, and D, and G are entirely flat. And if you're a guitar player, you know that that is the names of all the notes of the open strings. We B is here, that's now flat. E is here and here, those are both flat. A is here, D is here, G is there. So no open strings at all. So the challenge of that key is, can I make it sound as close to as resonant as possible? I mean, you'll never be able to match it, but can I be able to make it sound as close to that as possible? And really, was there anything special that I could give it? So I felt like this was a pretty successful arrangement overall. I went through a bunch of different fingerings on this one, but let's sort of take it case by case. So if you saw yesterday's video where I transposed it to B major, I got the opportunity to use the open B string, and that really gave it the open vibe, especially on that 5 chord. Just really full like that. Here, I ended up let's start from the beginning. I ended up using the same move from the B major transcription, just literally moved it 2 frets higher, but like that. But I sort of, by accident, found out we've got that beautiful color of the F note over that chord. It actually forms a B flat minor, but since we got the G flat there, we get G flat major 7. So it's just a very appropriate chord, G flat major 7. So extended the chord a little bit, just because I could, and the original can't do that. Because I just don't have a string above that, you know? So this was sort of, and I could have done it in B major, but I didn't think of it yesterday. So I thought of it today, and very cool. So I like that move. Play the 5 like that, great connection. And then, there we go. And then, that's all standard. That's exactly how I played it in B major. And then I found that the cross string voicing, I couldn't do cross string, so I actually did it non-cross string, and it's just a perfect fit, a D flat to an A flat like that. But technically, I changed it to an upstroke through 2 strings, which is just very awkward. So much more controlled with it down like that. But I changed it to an upstroke so that the melody note would come out of the texture better, the same way a cross string voicing would. So the idea is for the lower note to be just a touch quieter than the higher note. So as I did that, and great, it was in the position, found it was easy to reach. Not my first choice, actually. I was all over the neck trying to find stuff like this, but this was nice. So we get like that, just a bit of control. Sort of helps to like let a little loose on the pick so it's not so stiff, so the pick flexes a little bit, just to get that sort of niceness to the sound. Like that. Right, and then was originally going with the 5 chord, but I didn't, can't use the open string above it, and I really needed this D flat note there. And if I was playing here, I was doing all kinds of voicings on this, things like this, and trying to grab them with, holding the pick and the fingers. The whole point of this was to be able to play it with standard pick style technique and not really have too much or really much of hybrid stuff. But yeah, experimented a whole bunch and then decided that, well, what if I had the D flat? What if I just change the inversion? So this is a move I got from the most famous of classical guitar arrangements, Asturias Segovia's arrangement. He sort of does this with one of the chords. He changes the inversion, puts the seventh in the bass. And I kind of did the same thing. It's not a seventh chord, but I put that supposed open string, that fourth of the chord, in there. But I was like, it's nice, but then the bass doesn't change because I'm going here, right? And then like that, and then if I'm going like this, the bass is the same. I don't get the change. I'm like, I need an A flat. I had it here, and it did it. I was like, oh, got the octave, perfect. I could just grab the sixth string with it. Very easy to play. Sorry. There we go. And very easy to transition to from this position. So this made that move, I feel, successful. You can even guide a finger if you want when you're going, something like that second finger. You could hear a little transition there. Right. Now, to replace the open string of the note, I simply put the note down and then let it ring out. But then when I need the C again, I just bring it back. So it's just a little bit of finger replacement, right? Not too bad. And then the ending, again, really difficult. Was going to do crazy stuff like this, and all that kind of stuff, right? But ended up going with this. And again, I have to upstroke just this first one because it's the same relationship, the A flat and the D flat. And then here stayed in position to grab the G flat and the A flat. And the whole point is I wanted to let the D flat to continue to ring out to produce that open string quality. See, it's still going. And then slide that over because it gave you could hear it climb, and that pinky access. Now I hold the pressure down on the pinky as I play the note. Pivot out. Right, and instead of doing an ending chord like this, it's more of a subtle. Again, referencing Asturias, a lot of people play the last E minor chord very differently. So I was like, sort of take a page from the Asturias history of the arrangements because there were so many. All right, and then I get to play the G sharp, and I'm like, I'll play the fifth string. I haven't played it. I was picking it, which I could do. I could do very gently, but I thought flesh of the thumb would just sort of create a little bit of fullness. It's very subtle. It's a very nuanced thing. But that is what I had to do to create what I feel is the most successful arrangement that I currently have worked through. And I'm going to stop working on it at this point. But I enjoyed tackling it in D flat major. Before I did it, I wasn't even sure if it was going to be successful. You never really are. You sort of have to try it and really stretch your brain a bit and look for all the possibilities. And in order to do that, we really draw upon our references of what we played and what we think about when we played it. So that way we could access brand new ways of using the hands and using music theory in arrangement and transposition to play entirely different. Basically come up with something that we haven't actually played before. That's a very exciting thing. And that's something that's really worth pursuing. So at this point, what I want you to be thinking about is if you're the kind of player where you're not having a great time when you're playing and you want to have a great time when you're playing and you feel like your knowledge of the fingerboard, you'd like to have this freedom and flexibility to just move stuff to different keys and play it physically totally different and make it sound good and work on it. It doesn't have to be this key where it's all stretchy and stuff like that, but this is a pretty extreme case. Then please feel free to send me a message and I'll design a custom curriculum for you. It takes a good deal of small structured accomplishments to get the kind of competency to be able to do what it is we want to do. Thank you.